Oh man. So I just want to say before we start the show, Cory. Last week you said to me if Donald Trump wins, you're quitting every show. And let me just say, the main reason I wanted Biden to win is so we could continue doing our show. And yes. I know that's a very selfish reason. There are obviously other reasons I wanted him to win, but mainly I just wanted you to stay with me here in this digital realm that we're in.
The fact that Trump was reelected ruined my retirement plans. So fuck all y'all that voted in Biden. 5, 6, 7, 8.
What's up, boyos? This is the Jake and Cory podcast. I'm Jake. That's Cory. What's up, Cory?
What's up, Jake?
It maybe feels a little preemptive to be as ecstatic as I am right now because who knows what's gonna happen, but goddamn, I'm fucking ecstatic right now. I am.
Okay. Why are you so ecstatic?
Listen. Now you gotta take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. Tomorrow, I'm back to hating on politicians. But today I'm celebrating I'm not celebrating the victory of Joe Biden. I'm celebrating the loss of Donald Trump, okay?
Okay.
I am celebrating the downfall, at least for now, of neo-fascism in America.
Okay. And that's what has you so ecstatic.
For now. Yeah. And I know it may be we're going to look back on this podcast in 4 years when we're talking about the same shit with different people. And cringe because I'm hyped about it. And I understand that, but just in this moment, it was such a rocky road this entire week, or last week. Election day was Tuesday. Trump was ahead for 2 days. And then the mail-ins started coming in. And it was exactly as I predicted it. Trump won the walk-ins and Biden totally dominated the mail-ins. But God damn it, Arizona's blue. I live in Arizona. I'm so proud of half of the Arizonans that voted blue.
It was more than Arizonans that more than half of the Arizonans that voted blue. And I like to even narrow it down even more, Jake. It was our county, Maricopa County, that flipped this state blue. Yeah. Even though they're not saying that this state is blue, they're labeling us now as a purple state. And they're equating it to a lot of people from California moving to Arizona in the wake of the pandemic. Whatever it is, I'm happy with the way
it could be that. But I also have another suspicion. Donald Trump shat on one of our hometown heroes, John McCain. And you know what? Democrat, Republican, I disagreed with McCain in a big way. But even me who disagreed with him in a big way, because I'm, lefty. But even me who disagreed with John McCain respected the shit out of John McCain. And he was like a hometown hero, even though he lost the presidency. I couldn't vote then, but if I could have, I wouldn't have voted for him. But he was always gracious, and he was always like a good man. He fought for our country. I remember we've talked about it on the show when he actually came to Obama's defense on several occasions. When he was still alive, he went to bat against Trump, even though they were on the same political side. So I mean, you shit on our boy, you get shat on, son.
I remember John McCain running for president, and I wanted to vote for John McCain. Who I didn't want to vote for was that crazy whack job of a vice president he selected. That's who I didn't want. I didn't want Palin anywhere near it. You know what I mean?
He kind of played himself with that one.
Yeah, I don't think that he lost it. I think Palin lost that race for him, in my opinion.
I think honestly, McCain, I think, was trying to do a noble thing by having like a woman be his vice president. He just picked the wrong woman.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, which is typical of straight men. They pick the wrong woman. But Jake, I take your exuberance and I challenge your exuberance.
Yeah, I could tell that was coming. I could tell. That's why I was saying take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, because I knew you were going to try and tear me down, you piece of shit.
I'm not trying to tear you down, because Jake, honestly, I want to be exuberant with you. I want to be excited and happy with 76 million other people right now. I want to be out in the streets selling, well, not physically, but mentally. I want to be out of this mental jail that I have been living in for the last 4 years. I want to be there, but there's one thing that's holding me back. And this may be something that you may not be familiar with, and a lot of people may be neglecting right now, is the fact that you can't sleep on crazy. Donald Trump is a level and kind of crazy we have never seen before. And this ain't over. This is not, we watched Biden do his acceptance speech on Saturday night. I was watching it. There were cutaways to people being emotional there. And I was finding myself almost getting emotional. But in the back of my mind, I kept hearing, don't sleep on crazy. Well, this orange crazy dude. This dude is so crazy. You don't think this is if he goes down, he's going to try to take us down as far as he can. This ain't over. This dude now all arrows and all signs point to the fact that it will take literally a miracle and an act of God and Buddha and Krishna in order for him to overturn this at this point. But this dude is nuts. He's proven what he's told us he was going to do and be. He has a system that he has been building up. You don't think he's been preparing for this months and months and months ago? Amy Corona Barrett, part of his plan. Burr, part of it. You don't think that this dude, he went silent one day last week after the election? You don't think he was down there wrestling up getting together his plan? I can't be exuberant knowing that we're dealing with a crazy that we have never seen before in this country in Donald Trump.
I agree with you, and that's why at the beginning of this, why I said, it feels a little early to be as on the moon as I am right now. Because
you should be. We all should be. I want to be there with you, but this dude is nuts.
No, I agree with you, because that's why I said today, because normally we don't disclose this, although it does seem like we disclose it all the time. We're recording this on Saturday, so today is the day that Biden technically is absolutely projected to win. So I'm a little excited, but there's several factors to what you're saying. For one, Trump could still try and do some sort of coup bullshit, but I do have some optimism as far as that goes, because even Fox News right now is not on Trump's side. Even Ben Shapiro, I like to call him. Even that guy is Trump saying he won is irresponsible and dangerous. It's been a wild week though, because the other upsetting thing is half of America did vote for him, and it wasn't a blowout win. It was a close call.
70 million.
Yeah.
That dude, are you serious? I had a friend of mine, and it's a guy that I've known for many years. We were in a gospel quartet group together. We've been there for each other. We're very close. Known him for, more than 25 years. He put up on his Facebook page this comment that absolutely just blew my mind. And I was going to paraphrase it, but I'm actually going to look it up because it's like I could not wrap my head around this. He posted this the morning of Election Tuesday. He says, "This morning at 6 a.m. I voted. I voted for the party established in 1854 that gave my ancestors a voice in a time where we were less than human beings. The party that fought for the values and belief found in our Constitution. Therefore, based on this two-party system, I am a Republican. I'm thankful and honored for those that sacrificed so that I could walk into a voting establishment and not feel that in-your-face hatred like so many that have come before me." Now, he's a black guy. And the one thing that I started to respond to him and I didn't respond to him was, do you not think that those parties can change over time? Do you not think that those parties can be infused with people that want to undo what you're thinking was done for the African American people in 1854? Well, I found that at such a high level of ignorance to me.
It is, because infamously in the 60s there was the infamous party switch. So straight up, like, the parties just switched. So I mean, there is that he should keep in mind.
He should. So he literally took his thought process was going back to an 1854 establishment and applied that to a 2020 decision.
Yeah.
And because
over
of that,
like 100 years,
Yeah. He voted for a man that can't simply say, "I condemn racism."
Because who was the party of the civil rights? That was Democrats. So
I think he was and I think that if other African Americans thought the same way he did, that's why we have 70 million votes for Trump. The fact that it was close, Jake, is another reason why I can't share in your in America's exuberance right now. Honestly, I will tell you when I will get exuberantly happy. And I will kiss you on your face, Jake, when this happens. When Uncle Joe Biden is standing on those steps of the Capitol with his hand on the Bible being sworn in, that's when I'll get exuberant, because that to me will be the concrete, definitive moment that Trump will be done.
Yeah.
Until that happens, I can't bring myself to be happy. And trust me, Jake, it is boiling up inside of me to get happy. I'm looking at Instagram today. I'm looking at social media today. Lots of people are happy. I looked at that little 8-second Kamala Harris clip of her saying, "Joe, we did it. You're the next president of the United States." I'm looking at all of that. I'm fighting tears back, knowing the fact that we still have a level of crazy to conquer. That motherfucker still got power for another month and a half. And a lot can be done in that time.
I will say, I do think, though, the excited nature of all of us coming out and showing that we're unified, I think that's important too right now. To just let everyone know we're unified, we're together. And even seeing a lot of Republicans who voted for Trump being like, yeah, Trump is out of line right now. Like that, I've seen a lot of Republicans who voted for Trump who are saying Trump is out of line. I mean, there are a lot of crazies. I mean, we live in Arizona, and there was that crazy protest going on in Maricopa County.
I wanted to get to that too.
where they're protesting. What are they? They're protesting democracy, straight up. Like, that's what they're protesting.
You got Arizona votes. That was saying count the votes, and then you got another state saying stop the count, and then you got another one saying stop the count, but count the ones for Trump.
It's insane,
dude. I'm telling you, this man. I want to be happy. When I was looking at the acceptance speech tonight, or on Saturday whenever you're listening to this a few days later, I looked at those people happy in the streets. 99% of the people that I saw on TV had on masks. I'm looking at that happiness. I'm looking at those American flags wave. And you know what? I said, damn it. It's been so long since we've seen happiness surrounding a political event. I mean, where people when Kamala Harris took the stage, she just had a sigh of relief. When I woke up on Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, because I've just been exhausted with this whole thing, I was just like, this dude is crazy. This isn't over. We're celebrating, and we should be. But home dude is nuts. Dude is crazy, man.
And I would be more worried. And you know, a part of me is worried still about Trump and his loons. And I don't doubt that there will still be some violence that we will see. But, you know,
I say let them. If the Trump supporters, the deep Trump supporters, want to go out and wreak havoc and protest, I say let them do it, because then that's just going to show a portion of those 70 million that voted for Trump is going to show that, you know what, they weren't as good as they were. Let them show their hand. This is the time where the right-thinking Americans stand back, don't counter protest. Let them go out there and show their hand. Let them show their underbelly. Let them show themselves who they really are. Are they so peaceful? And by the way, we won't point out the fact that there was a Harvard study that proved that a lot of the rise in coronavirus can be tied back to the Trump rallies. We won't overlook that. But I say, you know what? Don't counter protest them. Let them go out there and act a fool. Let them march. Let them do whatever they want to do. What I don't understand about these Trump protesters is, why the hell do you have to brandish a weapon during your protest? When someone has a weapon on them, it's almost, to me, it almost seems like they're going expecting to use it. They're going expecting a fight. Well, if you don't see when Trump was elected in 2016, you didn't see Democrats out there protesting with weapons.
No.
I don't get that part of it. I don't get that. I don't get that.
We also didn't see like the same sort of pushback. There was certainly pushback when Trump was elected, but it was mainly
were the "not my president" protests.
It was mainly people just saying he's not my president. They weren't denying that he won the presidency. They were just saying, I don't stand by this guy at all.
And they weren't saying that Hillary Clinton was a victim of fraud, which after the impeachment process kind of went down, people can kind of conclude that there may have been a little bit of fraud in there. But after we dwindled down into the 2016 election, we realized that it was more of the fact that people did not vote. This election, dude, that took place last Tuesday, you understand that this was a historic number of people that came out to vote. People that have never voted before were mobilized. That's huge. That right there, Jake, wants my exuberance to rise up, knowing that it was people that were like, you know what? I've sat on this long enough. I've sat back long enough. Now I'm going to get up out of my chair and I'm actually going to participate in this democracy.
I actually also think a lot of that has to do with mail-in voting, where a lot of people are just like, yeah, I'll go to the polls when it's time to go to the polls, and then they just don't go to the polls.
And then they forget, or they work at a place where it's very difficult to do that.
Yeah.
Because if you work at a fast food restaurant or a grocery store, it's really hard for you to take 2 hours off to go downtown to vote. But I think mail-in balloting, the coronavirus has shown us one thing. Mail-in balloting is so easy and so simple and so reliable. And I foresee that a lot of elections, until it goes digital, which I feel that that's coming very soon, until it goes digital, I think that Americans are going to utilize the mail-in ballot, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on these ballot toting centers across the country, because that's the reason why this took so long, is because they've never had to process so many paper ballots before.
Yeah, exactly. And also specifically Philadelphia, which was or Pennsylvania rather, which was the that was kind of the linchpin.
It was PA. I didn't realize that until before the show, that it was PA that freaking put him over. Arizona is still counting. Nevada is still counting.
It was always Pennsylvania. Since we knew this since the start of the election, that Pennsylvania is the one that would have pushed Biden over, and it is the one that he won. But Republican lawmakers in Pennsylvania, the way it's set up is they are not allowed to count mail-in votes until the day of the election, and these are set by Republican lawmakers. So they did this intentionally so then Trump could have this talking point.
Well, hasn't it always been that way though, or is that just a recent change?
Well, it has always been that way, and people have always wanted to change it. Like, let us just fucking count them when they get in. But specifically Pennsylvania, where it's like they can't vote, they can't start counting those until the poll centers even close. So that's why it took so long. Same with Nevada, I think. Arizona, I don't know what's up with Arizona.
I just looked it up. I just Googled, can Arizona count ballots early? And this from azcleanelections.gov says the early ballot affidavit envelope is used to verify the voter's identity through signature verification. An early ballot cannot be counted unless the voter signs the EBA and the county subsequently confirms the signature matches the voter registration record. So the answer is yes, Arizona can count ballots early. My
it just
ballot
takes longer.
It does, but my ballot, when I looked it up, my ballot was counted on October 22nd.
Yeah. So Arizona could count early, but Pennsylvania could not. That's why it took so long.
And then you do realize that there is still another process. There's still another process that has to take place. There is the certification process of ballots.
Right.
They have to certify those ballots, and some of those numbers may change, but with the numbers being the way that they are now, and the percentage of those ballots that have to be verified and changed, like it hinges on the fact that it's not that those ballots will be thrown away, but when they go through the certification process, and I learned this myself just recently, so pardon me if I misspeak, that certification process, if there is a ballot that's called into question, they reach out to the person that ballot came from, and they give that person 5 days to respond. If that person does not respond within 5 days, then that ballot unfortunately is cast. Now, the percentage of ballots that will go uncertified is extremely low. Even if the percentage of ballots are at 5% to 8% of the total amount of ballots, it still wouldn't change the final number for Arizona when it comes to who Arizona elected as president.
Yeah, and especially Pennsylvania. Trump was so confused about this whole process. See, and this is why I'm not that worried about Donald Trump, because straight up, Donald Trump is just incompetent. He's incompetent of everything. He's filed for bankruptcy so many times. All of his businesses are failures, essentially. The only thing that he's really done that was somewhat successful was that fucking TV show, and that's where he kind of recouped a bunch of his millions.
Well, he only did that because he had a team and a network behind him. That's the only reason why that was successful. It wasn't he was just the figurehead of that. It wasn't his control. It wasn't his idea. He wasn't the creator of that show. Yeah.
So if it were someone a bit smarter, more competent, even if it was Ivanka, if it was Ivanka, I'd be even more worried, because she's actually, I hate to say it, Ivanka is actually kind of smart, it seems. She kind of She seems a little with it, not in a good way. You know what I mean? Trump is just, he's just a narcissist, and he's insane. So I
exactly. And the thing is, dude, he's gonna put us through hell over the next month and a half. Let me tell you this: I have a sleeper worry.
Yeah,
I have a sleeper worry, and I know that it's not proper, and I'm not insulting this person because this person is a young person. I have a future worry for Barron Trump. Let me tell you why I have a future worry.
Like he's being groomed to be the guy.
Who's to say that he is not?
He's a little young.
Going to want to avenge a man that he thinks was wronged.
And I think the person to worry about, and I see what you're saying, but we don't have to worry about him for another 20 years. I think the person we really need to worry about, because, I mean, Don Jr. is an idiot, and so is Eric. But the person I think we need to worry about, especially in 2024, when it's time for re-election, is Ivanka Trump. That is the person we need to look out for, because she very well could be the person that they kind of hoist up. And if we get Ivanka, we basically get a more coherent Trump, which is not a good thing. That is not a good thing at all.
There has been so many historical stories of family lineage where a small child sat by and was in the wings of a political figure that he felt was wrong. It's happened in the royal family and over in England, where a child grows up and then something snaps in them and they now want to avenge their father, or they want to avenge their family name. I'm not so much concerned about Ivanka because she's smart, but she's smart enough to kind of see the writing on the wall that this didn't work too well for her. And she's so smart that she won't sink to the depths of her father to stir up the pot. I'm hoping. I'm more concerned about Barron
right there next to him.
20 years from now. Barron, 20 years from now, that's my secret worry. Yeah, is that little boy growing up and wanting to avenge his father. Trump may not even live for another 20 years.
If anything, Barron's just going to hold hatred in his heart for Trump for having him.
And hatred is as powerful as hope, brother.
Well,
hatred is as powerful as hope when it comes to that.
I don't think he's going to hold hatred towards, like, you know, the American people. I think he'll hold hatred for his father. I mean, that's pretty typical for someone who is born to a father who is well beyond the ages of being a father, an absentee father. He was far more of an absentee father for Barron than he was any of his other children. And dude, I bet he's probably an absentee father for all of his children. But Ivanka, she was his right-hand woman through this entire presidency. Her and Jared Kushner. These are the people I think we need to worry about today. I mean, sure, maybe we need to worry about
you can worry about them today. I'm worried about what that little boy is going to feel in 20 years.
That's so hyperbolic.
And I'm telling you, blood is thicker than water. I don't care how much of an absentee father. Dude, you're talking to a guy that has counseled teens of fathers that they've seen beat their mothers, that they've seen steal their own money, that they've seen abandon them as a little baby, and yet there is still that strong innate thing to love them and want their approval, no matter how shitty of a person that they are. You cannot tell me that this little boy is not watching all this and he's going to have a hard-on for America. Now, he may not run for political office, but who's to say that if he doesn't inherit, let's say, a lot of money where he likes to buy a lot of powerful people and becomes the puppeteer. Dude, I'm only speaking what history has taught us. It's happened in history.
This is not history. If you want to look at history, you can look at at George Bush. Okay, so like in 20 years when Barron can even run for office, because you have to be 35 and this kid's like 12 years old. You know, if you look at history, I mean, if things go as smoothly as I think, where it's just like president, you know, same old president for 20 years or whatever, hopefully we make some progress in that time, but who knows? History will be written at that point as far as Donald Trump, and Donald Trump will not be in the history books as a good thing. So I think if someone sees a Trump on the ballot in 20 years, people aren't going to be about it. We already saw this with Jeb Bush. I mean, people, and that wasn't even like that far removed from George, but people already acknowledged George Bush was a horrible president. And that's why Jeb didn't even stand a chance, because they weren't looking at Jeb Bush. They were looking at, this is the brother of George. So, I mean, I
with the connections that little boy is going
to... And also Barron Trump... I'm sorry. Barron Trump is not going to be inheriting that much money, because let's be honest, Trump has no fucking money. Trump owes money. That's why Trump ran for president. That's why Trump is desperate. That's why Trump is saying he'll probably leave the country, because this man has to run away from his debt. This man has no money. This man has $500 million of debt. This man doesn't have money. He's a fucking liar. This is why he doesn't want to show his taxes. First of all, he evades his taxes. Second of all, he has no fucking money. He's a fucking liar. I remember when he ran for president, as, you know, claiming he had $2 billion or whatever the fuck, you know, and people who were in the know, who knew him, were like, I'd be surprised if that guy has $100 million. You know, like, Trump is just a fucking liar. He's not going to be inheriting that much money. The person we have to look out for is Ivanka, and even then, I doubt it. What I'm expecting we're going to see, and I'm sorry I'm going on a tirade here, what I'm expecting to see in the 2024 primaries for the Republicans, we're going to see fucking Alex Jones, the gay frog guy. We're going to see fucking David Duke, the KKK member. We're going to see fucking Richard Spencer, the white supremacist. We're going to see fucking Elon Musk. We're going to see fucking who else? Kanye West. That's going to be the fucking primaries, because Trump has corrupted the Republican Party that much. And now in 2024, when the Republican primaries happen, they're just going to look like a fucking joke, because Donald Trump has made it such a fucking joke to be Republican now. They have a lot of cleaning up to do. So I'm sorry. I am a little optimistic because right now, you're right, he does have another month, but a month isn't that much time. And right now, the Republican Party looks like a joke. And as history goes on, it'll be written down as they are a fucking joke.
That little boy Barron is going to harbor feelings.
And maybe after what I just said
for this country, and he may not. I don't think he'll run for office, but he is going to do something. Who's to say that somebody doesn't come to him and just, hey, man, you remember when your father was in office and America did this and America did that? Dude, we see it all the time where these terrorist groups radicalize people out of nowhere. I mean, they've turned Americans against American. Who's to say that one factor that you might be overlooking, Jake?
Sure.
Is the DNA factor. That man is built with the same DNA as his father, no matter how old Trump's sperm was. He's built with the DNA. And if you tell me that in 23 years, there's a chance that Donald Trump may not be around anymore.
There's a chance he's going to die tomorrow.
His mother's not very young. So now you got the anger of a kid that doesn't have parents.
Well, Melania's young enough. She'll be around.
Dude,
for a while.
I'm telling you.
I'm not too worried about Barron Trump. Dude, Barron Trump is sitting at home.
You're not worried about him today, but I'm talking about in 20 to 30 years from now, 40 years from now, when that dude's parents are gone and he's sitting home with a little money and he's angry at what happened to his father. He's angry as he flips through the history books and he wants to avenge his father's name.
Maybe. The most I could see Barron... if anything, I could see Barron Trump maybe changing his last name.
I'll be dead and gone by then, but I'm telling you, bruh, don't overlook it.
I hope not. But I have a feeling if Barron Trump is going to be any sort of force at all, he's going to be like a Twitch streamer and he's going to fucking stream Minecraft, because that's what Barron Trump is doing right now.
Well, I hope he doesn't in his fucking room just playing
Minecraft.
Minecraft is fucking boring as hell. XQC, stop playing Minecraft.
But I will say, let me say this real quick. Anyone who says, and I have fallen victim to this myself. Anyone who says your vote doesn't matter, this election proved that is not fucking true. Okay?
Yeah.
Look at fucking Georgia. That is such a small margin that Biden won by. A few thousand votes.
Same here in Arizona.
Same here in Arizona. And probably true in Nevada when we get the results. Don't ever fucking say that your vote doesn't matter, because it totally does. Now, the next step, though, is to fucking abolish the Electoral College, because it's a bunch of fucking bullshit. And, if Biden is worth anything, because let's be honest, Biden's probably not going to run again in 4 years. If Biden's worth his salt in these next 4 years, that's going to be his prime initiative, is to get rid of the Electoral College, because it's the stupidest fucking shit. I don't even know what the argument it is to keep the Electoral College at this point.
I don't know what the argument is either, but you know what, Jake? I was one of those people. I ran a commercial on my show, Fat Guy Radio Show. I ran a commercial about voting. And I apologize to people for playing down that their votes mattered. I was one of those people that didn't believe that my vote mattered. And dude, this year, 2020 has been one fucking hell of a year, but it's taught us a few things. And one of those things is that our votes do matter. With the fact that Arizona's flip from red to purple was brought on by a few tens of thousands of votes. 23,000, 43,000 votes or something of that nature is just additional proof that it does matter. The Mark Kelly win, that was by a few thousand votes.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The one thing that race that I'm sad about was Hero Tempernetti. How the hell did she lose from a guy that was found guilty of campaign fraud? But I guess, you know what? You can't fix all the stupid.
Yeah, I mean, Mitch McConnell got reelected, so I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't understand how. I mean, that dude, just look at his hands. The guy's got the devil just, manifesting itself on his hands.
Dude, Trump beat the fuck out of Mitch McConnell. That's what happened.
I'm telling you, dude, I'm not ready to be exuberant, even though I want to be. I want to be happy. Hear you. I want to. And then when I do, I'm telling you this, Jake, don't be around me on Inauguration Day. I'm going to be a blubbering, crying, fat chocolate baby. I'm going to be, because then that's when all of the emotion from these last 4 years is going to surface itself in me. All of my prayers are going to be answered at that moment. And it's not until we get to that moment that I will be able to reach that level of exuberance that you're with. I'm going to need to be held. Maybe you do need to be around me, because I'm going to need somebody to hold me like a chick.
It's true. Like, dude, this next month is going to be a fucking shit show. There's no denying that. I mean,
he's going to pull out every stop, man.
Alex Jones is downtown Phoenix. He was last night and he is today, fucking just raising hell down there. I mean, it's going to continue to be like that for a while. But like next year, once we get past it, hopefully, like it'll calm down. I'm really, really optimistic about this.
I'm right on the edge of being fully exuberant, and I just can't, because you cannot sleep on crazy.
It's true.
I'm telling y'all, but I know crazy, Jake. I know crazy, man.
You are crazy.
I am crazy. I'm crazy for you. Oh, you can't sleep on crazy. This Donald Trump dude is cray.
Yeah, I mean, but you can kind of, I don't know if you've watched some, and Trump has seemed more unhinged than ever, but also in I've seen him do like 1 or 2 press conferences, since the voting started, and you can kind of see it in his face that like his whole ploy is not working. You can kind of see it in his face.
We're talking about a guy that does not lose. We're talking about a guy that refuses to lose. That's built in his. I just don't see this being. a celebratory moment, and I want it to be a celebratory moment so bad. But
I hear you.
I'm today
I'm celebrating. Voter, tomorrow it's going to be a shit show, though.
Not just as a voter. I have a level of fear from his very deep base as an African American man.
I hear you.
Yeah. Because his very deep base is not someone that is not a group of people that love people that look like me.
I hear you. I do. Yeah, because they're all fucking fascist KKK members, and they suck. But you know, here's hoping that like as time progresses in this Biden presidency, that some of that starts to go away. Because like you know, you don't truly start to understand history until it becomes history. You know what I mean? And the further we go, it's the same with George Bush. Like at the time, right? At the time, and people still defend George Bush to this day, but like at the time, everyone was kind of like, yeah, George Bush, fuck yeah, he won the popular vote, you know? Like, and everyone was like, yeah, let's go kill the, you know, the Middle East people. And, you know, as history has shown, that was not the right move, and it was bad, and it was wrong, and you really start to see it as time goes on. And we're starting to see it more and more with time with George Bush, and I think we're going to... And you know what? Frankly, we're starting to see more and more that Bill Clinton's presidency was pretty goddamn good with history. And... you know, I think with history, we're going to see that, you know, Donald Trump's presidency was a fucking shit show. And
there's still 70 million people out there, man, that wanted that guy to continue doing what he was doing. Yep. You can't tell me that those 70 million people aren't going to go away.
Here's my hope. Here's my hope for the future of this country. And this is a long shot. My hope is that we get rid of the Electoral College because it's bullshit and we all fucking know it. And I could lay out an argument. You know, leave a comment in the comments and I will fucking hit you up in Discord and we will argue about it. But straight up, I will get in a fucking argument with someone over this. But if we got rid of the Electoral College, what the presidency would look like, it wouldn't look like Trump versus Biden during the presidency. It would look like Biden versus Bernie Sanders in the presidency. And that's what I hope the future of our country is. It's not a Biden versus Trump presidency. It's a Hillary Clinton versus Bernie Sanders. It's a Joe Biden versus Andrew Yang. You know, not Ted Cruz versus, you know, fucking Al Gore. You know, you know what I mean? Instead it's fucking I don't know, Al Gore versus Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You know, that's what I hope the future of this country is.
AOC. I hope the future of this country is let's just get back to politics. They're all going to screw us over, but at least it will be a united screw over. You know, when we've been screwed over by politics in the past, it was never hinged on systemic racism. It was never hinged on, you know, well, yeah, but we need to just get back to the normal of America. And what I'm really hoping for in this Biden presidency is a few things. But the one thing that I want our international allies back. I want to be back in the World Health Organization. I want to be back to being the leader of not just this country, but literally being the leader of the world. So many countries look to us. I believe that the vaccine for this coronavirus is going to come out of America, and other countries are going to want it from us. And I think that that's why we need to be back with our allies. We need to put our enemies back under our thumb, and we need to stand up and take our rightful place as world leaders. The presidency of the United States is not just a leader for America. The presidency of the United States is a position of leadership worldwide, and we need to get that back. I believe that we have torn the last 4 years. We have torn down our own allies. We have torn down countries that could have been allies that didn't want anything to do with us because of the way we were acting. We need that back. And the fact that I believe that that's possible with all of the congratulatory tweets that have been coming in from other countries and other country leaders. Those people want it. The world wants America to be that stable leadership once again. And the optimal word is leadership.
Yeah, I agree with you to a certain extent. I think a tyrant like Donald Trump, if he rose up in England, it'd be the same sort of fear. Just a tyrant rising up is bad, no matter what country you are. I agree with you in the fact that I would like to have our allies back, for sure. Leader of the world, I don't know. I'd like to co-lead with the rest of the world. You know what I mean?
It's a leadership role for the rest of the world.
I hear what you mean. I just don't buy into this nationalist bullshit.
I'm not saying I'm not speaking nationalist bullshit. I'm looking at the fact that when something goes wrong in other countries, where do those countries look to? They look to the Americans.
Sometimes.
No country has been able to look to us in the last 4 years for anything.
Yeah, not even our own what are they called? Like Puerto Rico, where it's technically part of America. They couldn't even. It took like weeks for Trump to get over there and hand out fucking. Isn't it ironic that when Trump took his presidency, one of the big problems was him handing out fucking paper towels in Puerto Rico, and then at the end of his presidency, there is no paper towels to be bought in America. Paper towels seem to be a through line with Donald Trump.
It's just that with every previous president up to this point, we've had some type of relationship or some type of line of communication, be it positive, negative, or indifferent, with other countries, with the world. And I believe that those communications have been slivered down to a certain few select countries. And I don't think it should be that way.
I agree with you.
And it's only been that way in the last 4 years.
I agree with you to a degree. I don't know much about those middle presidents. You know what I mean? The presidents.
Well, I've been around a lot longer than you, bro. And I know that it's
the middle presidents. I mean, like 150 years ago. Like I don't know much about those presidents, but
those middle presidents,
the middle ones. Like James K. Polk. I don't know much about that guy.
My God, Jesus.
So I'm just being honest. I know about like George Washington. I know about like Reagan. I don't know much about the guys in the middle. I don't know much about Garfield.
Garfield is a cat that likes lasagna.
That's true. He is. Yeah. Well, and also to the point of Puerto Rico, they voted in that they're trying to become a state. So
yeah.
Here's hoping that they do, because that'd be fucking great. That'd be fucking great. Come on in, Puerto Rico. Like to be join the family.
I would love to be able to. It'd be 51 states. That'd be kind of weird. Why would we want an odd number?
Make DC a state too. Why not?
Yeah, and you know what? DC has DC always been blue? Has the District of Columbia always been blue? Okay, I don't know why. It's always.
And you know why? It's a majority minority. Isn't that funny?
Majority minority.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, when I visited DC, maybe it was just because of where I was staying. I didn't see a lot of black people. I saw a lot of like Asian people, but I didn't see a lot of black people where I was. I was in Georgetown, from which I understand is like the Scottsdale of DC. I didn't see a lot of black people when I was in DC, and I can't wait. Now, hopefully things will calm down. I want to get back to DC, and Jake, I would like for you to go with me.
I'd love to, dude. If we could do a fucking...
I love DC.
I've never been, dude. I've never really been to the East Coast. I would love to go.
Maybe, Jake, maybe that will be, even though this will never happen, because you'll find some reason for it not to happen. You'll piss me off, and then I'll be like, screw you. But I want to go back to DC. I love DC. I have some friends out in DC. We could tour the Podcast Village studios. got it in on Podcast Village Studios. We can go out there and we can see how some of the pros do it. If we're still doing the Jake and Cory show, we could share a queen bed at a nice high-end hotel.
This show has a good 10 years left in it, Cory. All right.
I don't have a good 10 years left in me. I just bought $1 million life insurance policy that is set to expire in 10 years.
Well, you're going to have to re-up in 10 years.
But no, I would love to go back to DC because there was a lot of stuff. I've never shared this before, but when I was in DC 3.5 years ago, Trump was president when I was in DC, and I didn't want to. You couldn't get to the White House because it was all like
right at the start, huh?
Yeah, it was all like gated up and stuff like that. And you know what? Those pictures that you see on TV, ladies and gentlemen, I thought it was just because I was there, but no, there's always a crane in front of the freaking White House. But nevertheless, I went and I saw the Lincoln Memorial. I saw the Washington Memorial. I saw the Capitol from afar. I saw the White House from afar. But the most exciting building that I got giddy over to see, and I just happened to stumble upon it, the outside of the FBI building, because it was the facade that they used for Bones. And I was the most excited. I stood out on the streets and I yelled at the building, "Is Sealy Booth in there? Is Sealy Booth in there? Sealy!" I was excited to see the FBI.
The FBI came out and said,
I walked by
we don't want people to know.
I walked by the freaking African American History Museum. I walked by the Smithsonian. I didn't give two shits. But as soon as
I want to go to the Smithsonian real bad. That'd be really cool.
I want to go back to DC. I would love to go back to DC.
Yeah, I'd love to go to DC. I've never. Yeah, the furthest east I've gone is I went to Nashville once. And it was pretty cool. It's more south, but you know.
I liked it. I liked it, and I specifically chose flights that had long layovers in other cities because I wanted to be able to spend an hour or two in those cities. So I got like, I only got 15 minutes in Atlanta, Georgia, but I had 4.5 hours in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And that was fun. I almost made it to the Mall of America.
That's where my family's from.
Yeah, I almost made it to the Mall of America.
They went blue this year too.
Yeah, then I got a little scared because I was going too far away, and then I just ended up spending an hour and a half in the airport.
Did you find Prince?
I got lost too. No, they told me that Paisley, the Paisley estate or whatever it is where Prince lived, was too far away. They said it was like an hour drive from where I was. But so, I loved it.
Before we end the show, Cory, I want to just make a couple predictions here.
Sure.
Do you think Joe Biden in 4 years is going to primary himself? Like, you think he's going to drop out? Or do you think he'll run again?
I don't think that. I would have to look at history. I don't think that an incumbent president has ever not sought re-election.
I'm sure that's happened before. I couldn't tell you who. Like I said, I don't know the middle presidents.
I wouldn't say probably not. I would say not in the recent, the recent most 5 presidents. I think that if he does not seek re-election in 4 years, I believe that what we may see is a run for the presidency from Kamala.
Yeah, you think he might step down before the presidency ends?
No.
Well, I think the only
and the reason why I base that answer on his vice president. I still stand by the fact that I believe Kamala is going to be more out front than Biden is. I just think that's what's going to happen. And with that being the case, I don't see him having the thing is that, you know how when they say presidents get in the office, they age like 20 years and 4 years. I don't see how that's going to be possible with Biden.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, the dude's already ancient. You know what I mean? And look at how Barack looked when President Obama looked when he first was elected to when he. After 8 years, he aged 20 years.
Yeah, I mean he still looks great. I mean, he actually just looks like he aged 8 years. I don't know. You know, especially that like 45 to 55, that's kind of a big changing time for old men.
Black don't crack. Black doesn't crack.
He looks great, dude. He still looks good. I really wish he could run again. I'd love to have Obama back.
Do you think Trump will run again
in 4 years?
Some people are speculating that he may run again in 2024.
I think technically he can. I mean,
I wish there was a law that he couldn't.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends. I feel like the only reason Biden would step down, and I do think it's a possibility, is like if his health starts to deteriorate, which is the man's 78. Like it's a serious possibility that like in 2 years he could.
Yeah, but he's not the oldest president we've ever had, though.
He is.
Is he really?
He is. Yeah, he will be the oldest president we've ever had. So there is a shot that like. Not that I'm like hoping for that, but like he, you know, who knows what'll happen in 2 years? He's already looking pretty goddamn old. His forehead terrifies me.
Oh my gosh, you are right. Because sorry to cut you off, but I just Googled it. Prior,
I think it was.
You're
Trump.
right. Biden is the oldest president. Prior to that was Donald Trump at 70.
Yeah.
Holy crap, you were right.
Yeah. No, he's really fucking old to be president. And honestly, I wish there was a law that's like you can't run for president after the age of 70. Because good God,
I think it should be AARP age 65. 35 to 65. That's it.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, because I mean, I saw a great meme that was like, it's not fair for someone to order for the table if they're about to leave it. You know.
That's actually a Black historical comment that's kind of twisted around.
Oh yeah.
There was a Black historian that said that if there's not a chair for you at the table, bring a chair. You know, and Kamala, I think may have mentioned that in her acceptance speech Saturday night, but that's kind of like where that joke was so funny because it's kind of a play off of that.
Another question for you. Oh yeah, and personally, I think Biden will step down in 4 years. I think the main reason Biden ran this time was literally just to get Trump out. And he knew he had a good shot of doing it. But so I think he will step down. I think we will see a primary of both Democrats and Republicans in 4 years. But what do you think the future, like, say everything, a month goes by, you know, Trump steps down, it's fine, you know, it's not terrible like we're half expecting it to. Let's say Trump just steps down. I doubt we'll see Trump at the goddamn, like, commencement speech or whatever. That
was an interesting question that I have for you. You know how throughout history, there have been times and events where all the presidents get together. Do you think old Orange Face will join him?
I don't.
If he's not in jail.
I don't. I think the most we'll see happen, which, you know, it is possible as long as Trump chills out in the next few days. What is possible is that we may see a phone call between the two of them, especially with coronavirus. We may see like a phone call, but like I even doubt that.
Yeah. He won't concede.
Trump does have this on Biden, though. You know, his acceptance speech or his acceptance where they do the big thing, his inauguration with the big crowd where Trump was like, I've got the biggest crowd ever, when he didn't. Mm-hmm. Trump does have this on Biden. Biden probably will have a small crowd because of the coronavirus.
Yeah, it'd have an asterisk on it if it's not. If it's just not virtual. If it's not totally virtual in January.
It will. He might just do. Yeah, I could see Trump or Trump. God damn it. I could see Biden just doing what he did tonight with all the cars and shit and just do that.
Did you see also, it wasn't just all the cars and stuff, but did you see like there was that big, huge building where they had that projection up on it? At the end of it, when the fireworks were going off, they actually had feeds of people that were streaming it at home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there were feeds of people clapping from their home up that they projected up on that big old huge screen.
It's like basketball or wrestling.
Yeah, doing that. Yeah. It was like the Ellen show.
Oh yeah, like Ellen. Yeah, or my favorite show, the Kelly Clarkson show. But what do you think? What do you think Trump is going to do? You think he'll go into hiding, or you think he'll do like a big press media tour, or?
I think that he will stay in the news because I believe that the state of New York is waiting for his ass.
I think so too.
I believe that the state of New York has not been able to touch him because he's been in the office.
I think it's a big reason why he ran for office.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be waiting for him. And if New York gets his way, gets their way, he's still going to be prevalent in the news.
You know, he tweeted
out. He tweeted out, months ago, where if I lose this election, I'm just buy America. I'm going to leave the country. He may flee. He may flee the country. My hopes would
go to Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah. My hopes would be that he would just, go away. But the type of person that he is, the narcissistic personality, and the fact that he needs to be the center of attention, he will continue to do his best to wreak havoc. He will continue to try to puppeteer his corporate counterparts that put money behind his campaign. He will continue to try to arrange favors for those people. And that will be his way of trying to continue to steer America. Do I believe that he's going to go the traditional route of other presidents that have been either voted out the office or ran their term or ended on their own, where they have their own library and stuff like that? I don't foresee that happening with him. I don't think that that's important to him.
I have a strong feeling personally that maybe for the first couple months after his presidency, we might still hear a bit about Trump. I think he's going to go radio silent. I think he's going to go into hiding. It's pretty obvious, like when he's put on the spot, he's not good at handling it. Like, he isn't. We've seen it time and time again, especially this year. He's just not good at handling questions under pressure. So unless he's just doing a bunch of like rallies like he's doing now, I don't see him doing anything. I do what is really fun, and it's funny you mentioned Twitter. I think one of the first things that's going to happen in January is Twitter is going to unplug Trump's Twitter, like, immediately. I think the only reason Trump still has a Twitter is because he's the president. Because he's a
statesman.
Yeah, he breaks terms of service all the time. So I mean, all of his tweets over the past week have been flagged by Twitter as like, this is untrue, this is untrue. And I appreciate Twitter for just being like, we don't care that he's the president, he's lying, and we have to point it out.
Well, when he becomes a citizen, and he's not, because I read something or heard something about that, where he's a head of state right now, and when you're a head of state, you get a little different privilege on these social media platforms.
And yeah, they shouldn't ban his Twitter because he is the president. Yeah.
Right. But once he's not a head of state anymore, they can easily and quickly shut that shit down.
And Trump without Twitter is nothing.
Mm-mm. He'll have to have another reality TV show or something like that.
So, like I said earlier in the show, I'm pretty fucking optimistic. I mean, Trump without Twitter is nothing. I think Trump is going to go into hiding. He's an old guy. He probably wants to just go to sleep anyway, take that fucking girdle off, and
not
just
those
let it
type
all
of
out.
People. Not that type of personality, man.
I hear what you're saying, but like, Trump seems he seems dead inside right now. Ivanka's
it's a facade. You never don't sleep on crazy.
Yeah, I hear you. I think Ivanka's the one we got to look out for, though, and that's.
I don't know. Before we end the show, can I show you something that I think is going to make you happy?
Yeah.
This is going to be pretty visual.
If it's your penis, I'm going to be upset, dude.
Ugh, all right. Well, never mind. No, it's not my penis. This is going to be pretty visual.
I couldn't see that anyway.
It's going to be pretty visual for Jake, but.
Oh, dude, you downloaded it. He downloaded Among Us.
I downloaded Among Us, and I've been practicing.
Oh,
I've been practicing, and I'm really, really slow.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'm horribly slow.
I've been thinking maybe it'd be fun to do like a Loner Cast family Among Us stream where it's like me, you, Nick, my sister Cassie, who our show is gonna premiere next week. I thought it'd be fun. The four of us plus a few other people. Maybe we get Brandon in because he's been in a couple shows, and
that's a great thought. That's a great thought.
You're an asshole, Corey. You're a fucking asshole.
I'm not good at it, dude. I'll be the first one that'll be killed, and if I'm imposter, I'm probably gonna kill when everybody's huddled around.
Hey,
I'm not a good liar.
AOC played it, and she was fucking horrible, but everyone enjoyed watching her play it because it was heartfelt and it was great.
If I play with people, I don't have all the connections where I have the headset and I can talk and all.
I can help you through it. I can help you through it. I can help you set it up. It's fine.
I don't have all of that stuff, and I want the best.
Yeah, I'll help you. I'll help you set it up.
I want studio quality sound. I want to sound like
we'll get you into Discord.
Soda Pop. I don't want to sound. Oh, and by the way, XQC had this thing. I know we're at the end of the show and we're over time. XQC had an advanced release of the actual little Mario Kart camera game.
Oh yeah,
and he showed it on his Twitch feed, and my mind was blown. I was like, "Oh my god, it's a little actual Mario driving around his house."
Well, that's a great segue because you can check us out every Tuesday on the Lunar Gamecast where we actually talked about that a few weeks ago. I don't understand the fucking point of that game at all, but it's cool, I guess. Technology. I liked it because the last video game that I played on the Wii was Mario Kart, and my kids were 10 and 13 years old. That was the last game I played. So when he was in his Twitch stream and someone in his chat was saying, "Did you get the mini fridge that I sent you as a gift?" And he said, "Yeah, I got it. Do you want to see where I set it up?" Because I guess he just moved into a new house in Canada. And so he says, "Okay, let me show you." And he reaches into his drawer. He pulls out this remote control car that's got a little Mario on it, turns it on, brings in this additional camera feed screen into his Twitch monitor, and puts the thing down, grabs a remote control, and then all of a sudden you see this little Mario driving out of the room that he's in, down the hallway, and right up to where he had the little mini fridge. And I was just like, what? That's a pretty cool application for that. I never even thought about that. That's a pretty cool application for that game.
And then his chat started asking for a tour of his house, and he said that he couldn't do it because the Mario Kart thing is very Wi-Fi glitchy.
Yeah.
And then he finally gave in and said, "Okay, guys, I'll show you. It's glitchy, but I'll try." As soon as he tried, Mario hit something and then flipped over, and then the connection was lost.
So he's trying to not expose his fucking dildo collection. That's all.
Whatever it was, but his house looked like a rich young kid that has a lot of property and don't know how to handle it. But it was just really cool. It blew my mind on that. I'm still all on the Twitch thing, and I love it, and I'm glad that the election is over, so some of the Twitchers will go back to playing video games. I don't want to see you said. I mean, dude, there was XQC even had the election results up on his Twitch channel. I'm like, come on, I don't want to see that. I want to see you playing Among Us. I want to see you running around shooting people.
Yeah. Well, maybe next week sometime we can play some Among Us and stream it. That'd be fun as fuck. Thanks for.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Oh, come on.
I'm not good.
That's fine. I'm not good either. Nick is really fucking bad.
I'll play Nick.
He despises it. I'm gonna have to pull his teeth to get him to play with us as well. But
he's not gonna play because he doesn't want to play with me.
He loves you, dude.
I'm not gonna mute my microphone during play though. Oh, you need to show me how to do Discord too.
I'll show you how to do Discord. We'll discuss it off the show.
Okay, discuss it off show because I want to order all of my new equipment because I like buying equipment.
Okay, you won't need new equipment, but that's okay.
5, 6, 7, 8.